Friday morning, April 10th. I hope everybody's well. Happy Good Friday to those of you who celebrate, and I forgot to say Good Passover to those of you who celebrate Passover. 'Tis the season. I hope everybody stays home. There's a lot of services and things going on over the weekend on the internet, and I hope that's what you're doing and not trying to go out in person. We got to be careful. We got to be very careful now. So speaking of being very careful, so my mother-in-law calls yesterday, says, so if I wear my mask and my gloves, am I okay to go to the store? 2 days. We went shopping 2 days ago. I'm like, we'll go. What do you need? You know? So it turns out she didn't have anything urgent. So we ordered 2 things for her from Amazon, be delivered to her. Well, she ordered one and we ordered one to be delivered to her. The other one was macaroni salad for Garland. So Dennis is making him macaroni salad. And then she called later, she says, I'm so embarrassed, but I'm almost out of dish soap. I'm like, we have dish soap. We'll, you know, bring you enough that'll last you a couple weeks and we'll get dish soap next time. So she promised not to go to the store. Said if anybody has to really go to the store, we'll go. You can't go to the store. 2 days. It's hard. I mean, and you know, I didn't look at our dish soap either, so. She's used to going shopping pretty regularly because they're old. They had 1 million doctor's appointments. They would have 2 or 3 doctor's appointments in a week, and she'd stop at the store every time they went to the doctors. You know, it's like every time we said, you know, can we go? We're going to the store. What, do you need anything? No, I just was there yesterday. So she's quite used to going regularly, and it's hard to switch to thinking about what am I going to need, you know, next week. 2 days. I love her dearly. I'm very lucky in my in-laws, I must say. But, oh my gosh. So anyway, I'm wearing my Karina. I'm considering this a new finish. I didn't weave in the ends. So I made the sleeves longer, and I think I got them just about right because my elbows are bent and they're still like right at my wrist. So I like that. And I added 4 inches to the bottom, and that might have been 1.5 inches longer than necessary, but I do like it. And I took a bathroom selfie while Dennis was in the shower. And I'm like, don't worry, I'm not taking a picture of you, and I'll put it right here. But I'm really happy with it, much happier with it than I was with it when it's short. So now I have another FO. This counts, right? I mean, I did a lot of knitting. 8 inches, 7.5 inches on the bottom, and then, you know, 4 inches on each sleeve. That's like an FO, surely. But I made a decision about my yarn that I really like. This is the yarn, Yoshi and Lucy. I showed this one. This is a DK yarn. And I wanted to make the Rocaine sweater, but I couldn't find my stupid pom-pom magazine. Couldn't find my pom-pom magazine with the Rocaine in it, so I couldn't, well. And I was thinking about buying another one in the lovely K. I tried to buy it for me, but of course it's already in my library. But that was such a sweet thing. I decided I really wanted to knit with this yarn, but I am not ready for lace, so I decided to make another arcade. I wore my arcade sweater the other day. I tried to show you the triangles. In fact, this is the color I made mine out of. You see those? Just like this lacy detail. on the side, in the front, and in the back. And that's what I'm gonna make. I think I'm gonna go down to split the sleeves, and then I'm gonna do the sleeves because I only have 4 balls of this, which is a bit less than it calls for my size, or what I think my size is. So I decided to do that. I'm in the middle of the short rows in the back. Won't be long before I'll be done with those. So, but I got tired last night and didn't want to do it while I was tired. So anyway, so a couple people asked me how I got my name. My maternal grandmother's name is Jenny, and my parents were very young parents. I'm the second child, and so when so my dad walked my mother to the hospital because no car when she was in labor, and then I was born. You know, and that was back in the olden days. Nobody knew whether they're going to have a boy or a girl. So, as he was headed back to the apartment, he ran into a neighbor lady and her son. Her son was 3, maybe 4. And he said to his neighbor, "I have a Jennifer." And the little kid looked up and got a very confused look on his face and said, "Janitor? What do you want a janitor for?" Well, my dad thought it was pretty funny. So he told my mom. And when the lady with the birth certificate paperwork came in and said, "What's the baby's name?" she said, "Barbara Ann." I was mad at that little kid for the vast majority of my life. I would have much rather have been a Jennifer than a Barbara Ann. But I'm okay with it now. But I was this close to being Jennifer. This close. My grandmother was Jenny. I have a cousin named Jenny, and I tell you the truth, I don't know if she's probably named Jenny and not Jennifer. My mother's sister's daughter, second daughter, is Jenny. So anyway, that's the story of my name. I'm not a Jennifer. I'm not mad at that kid anymore, but I was for a really long time. I have no idea who he is. I don't even know if it was a boy, really. And Celeste asked me about my jar of beads. These are only 2 of my jars of beads, and they're very dusty. In fact, I've got another one on the windowsill over there that I was picking beads out of, and they're so dusty. I just need to dump them in the sink and rinse them all off. But these are beads. When you make beads for your hobby, you end up with a lot of beads. Many of whom which are not that good. But, you know, some of them aren't too bad. It's kind of a pretty one. But at some point, you know, I mean, I started making jewelry after I started making beads because, you know, I mean, what do you do with beads? You make jewelry. There's only so much jewelry you can make if you're not, like, excellent at it. Although I made some beautiful, beautiful pieces, and I sold a lot of jewelry to people that I worked with, and it was the sweetest thing. At my retirement party, everybody who had bought any of my jewelry wore it that day. It was really sweet. Look at me, I'm crying. There was a lot of jewelry in that room. They really supported me, and selling the jewelry did pay for my glass. And if you've seen any of my lamp working videos, you've seen my glass stash. I have a glass stash that'll last well beyond my death as well. As you know, yarn's not the only thing I collect. Anytime I do this, you know, it's 2 hobbies, the collecting and then the making. So anyway, I don't, you know, couldn't possibly make that much jewelry, as much jewelry as I had beads. So they turn out to make very nice centerpieces, quite unique. I've never seen anyone else with them. So I have a lot of beads. And, you know, someday I'll go through those beads because there are a lot of very reasonable beads that could be used, and I might send them to a friend of mine who is a professional jewelry maker who could use those beads in a way that would be way more useful to the world than my centerpieces. Although I do really like my centerpieces, I will admit. I will admit. I feel like a little bit like Scrooge McDuck. Sometimes I go through my beads and I'm like, ooh. I have a whole set of beads that are, you know, that I tried to sell. I was selling beads for a while after I retired. But I need to, that one is pretty. I don't know if you can see how iridescent that blue is. In there, that little piece of iridescent blue. Things to do. Well, I've got time, right? So, it is extremely windy today. It was really windy yesterday afternoon. It felt a little tornado-y. I mean, it was really, really windy. We have some giant logs on our side yard. I think our house was lucky not to get hit. Pearl was terrified. She actually just peed herself right where she stood. She just was beside herself, terrified. But it was just a gust for, you know, a couple minutes, not even, you know, a couple minutes. It's not really, I mean, if you clocked it, it was probably a minute, 40 seconds or a minute, you know, but it was really loud and really scary. But we've recovered, although it's very windy today too. We didn't even walk yesterday. Mr. Gloom and Doom says it's going to be a really bad night Sunday night. It's going to be thundery all night and pouring rain. So, not looking forward to that. I wish I was a napper. I'd take a nap before I tried to go to sleep. But I am not a napper. But I'm happy in my sweater. It's only going to go up to 49 degrees today. So, it's like a 14-degree difference between yesterday and today. Thus the wind. It might snow. They said we might get snow. Flurries, not a real snow. So just a reminder that we're not at spring yet. So, but I'm feeling pretty good. Had a very lovely conversation with our friend Kay. She butt called me yesterday by accident on Instagram. I didn't even know you could do that. But you can talk to people a million different ways now. But she was trying to, I think she was trying to find my vlogs. But she was on Instagram looking, and she ended up calling me via Instagram, which I had never done before. And I was able to put my camera on so she could see us, but she never figured out how to put her camera on so we couldn't see her. But we had a lovely talk. Those serendipitous things, you know, it was nice. So we had a lovely conversation with her. And we're just puttering along here. We're all fine. Pearl's recovered. Look at that, the sun came out for a while. It's like really black clouds and then the sun comes out. And then really black clouds and then the sun comes out. So, I forgot to tell Dennis about his little freckle-sized lime. He was very excited. Anyway, I hope you're all doing well. I'm feeling healthy and staying sane. And I'll say goodbye. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Good Friday. Happy Good Friday. And please take good care of yourself.